Bingo. Thank you. Hello and good evening. I hope you can hear me out there. I've been having problems with my sound. Anyway, I tell you what, I'm still waiting for my haircut, and look at my hair. That I brush it, then it comes back again. It's all about kind of like actually staying indoors, sitting around watching telly. Because I was going to go out yesterday on my scooter, and but I couldn't go out because I've got my trousers on, got all my got everything on, and brushed my hair, everything, got ready, got excited. Then all of a sudden it piled down of rain, and I thought to myself, oh no, I've got to stay and watch that rubbish on Netflix called Bridgerton or whatever it was called. You know, it's a new kind of like Netflix series out. Anyway, anyway, I had some good news today, so I'm quite pleased with that. Thank you very much for everybody who's been following me and been supporting me. It's been really good, and got some good news coming up in the next week or so. In the meantime, I have got Duncan back again, and it's really good to have him back because I like to speak to different people when come on, and when he keeps coming back, it's I like to chat with him, and because he knows a lot about different subjects and stuff, so it's nice. Hello, Duncan. How are you?
Hi, Steve. Yeah, good, good. Doesn't seem a week, does it?
It doesn't go quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Into February now.
Yeah, I know. We were doing all our bookings and everything, and we were thinking, gosh, we're booked up for February. We're working to March now. I think we've got up to the 6th of March so far. So you know, it goes quickly, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Then we come up to the anniversary of the virus.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. Big thing. Anniversaries with mental health are massive, because they're hurdles that we need to get over. And this one's massive. Who'd have thought this time last year? The Prime Minister went on and did that. Obviously, that famous first sort of lockdown speech and said, "Do you know what? It's going to be 10 weeks," and everybody was just, "Wow, 10 weeks! How are we going to survive that?" We look back on it now and go, how foolish were we to think, are we going to actually get past 10 weeks? Here we are, almost a year down the line, and still no end to what's going. Although I did catch the news tonight. I try to keep away from the news, but caught it tonight, and actually caught a bit of good news in the fact that they were pushing the fact that more vaccines are coming on board, and over 50s they're hoping to do in the next couple of weeks. So,
I've got mine. I've got mine next week.
Really?
Yeah, I've got my jab. I've got the nurse coming out next. I think it's Tuesday. I think, and hopefully, can have my jab then. I wasn't really sure about it in the beginning. I must admit, and but if it's going to keep me alive for a while, why not?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And my dad went for his jab the other day, and he's well older than me. He's now in his late 70s. So, and he said to me, "It's not a problem." He said, "You've got to get yours done. Got to get yours done." So, I think I will get it done, and because it was only like today, this morning, when they pulled me up today. But this morning I was kind of like moaning about it and saying, "Where's my jab? Where's my jab? Everybody else is getting it. Thousands of people getting it, but I don't have my job yet." Next minute, I get a call. So I'm sorry, folks. But the trouble is, though, with mental health, because it's been like nearly a year now with this virus. The trouble is, mental health is kind of like gone up, in their stats. I read this morning on the internet that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of suicides, there's a lot of people who kind of like actually kind of like don't want to live no more because they're afraid of this virus, and it's all sad news, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what a terrible position to be in, where you feel that that's the only way that you can turn.
Mm.
I have dealt with that I know of. I would say 5 gentlemen who uh, who have made serious attempts on their life,
Mm.
and they come to me as a real, it really is the last thing on their list.
Mm.
And they say, you are the last resort. And then after we've done some sessions with them, and they start to, you know that light bulb moment that we've talked about before, they feel that, and then they go, this is amazing. I never thought that I was going to feel this way. And they really genuinely had made that decision, and that's awful.
Mm.
So to have 4, maybe 5 clients that I know of who were, was in that position and are now still with us,
Mm.
is a real sense of satisfaction for me. Real
Mm.
sense of satisfaction. And it's
Mm.
not a job where I go around sort of high-fiving everybody, going, hey, do you know what, I saved a guy from jumping in front of the railway, or taking an overdose, or cutting, or whatever. But the satisfaction is amazing. I did a radio show a couple of years back, and I had a gentleman email me over about New Year, or it was the break in between Christmas and New Year, and I did a dedicated mental health show, a weekly show on a national radio station, and he emailed me, and he said, I was in the bath. And I was listening to you. He said, I was aware of your radio station. I was aware of you. And I put you on. And I was cutting in the bath. And he said, you said something. And I stopped. And I sat in the bath for the rest of the program, and just listened to what you said. And I kept in touch with this fella for 2 or 3 months, and he was in a very dark place. I mean, wow, Christmas or Christmas Eve, he said it was, to be in that position, and you are in the process of taking your own life. And he said, I heard you on the radio, and I listened. And he went from not being able to get out of the house, to then doing Couch to 5K, to then doing 10K, to then doing a marathon. And he did several marathons, to my knowledge, last year. And I occasionally see him now and again on social media, and he cracks on. Fantastic, fantastic. But what that does feel a bit of a responsibility, that I kind of think to myself, had I not said what I'd said, had I not been on air at that moment in time, what? Well, I know what would have happened to that gentleman, and that's just horrific. What I say to everybody is, if you get in that position, Samaritans, every time, 116123. It's a free phone call service. It doesn't appear on your phone bill. That's really crucial as well,
Yeah,
because
of course it is. Yeah,
the shame that people will have. And the great thing about the Samaritans is not only have they been doing it for years and they're very, very good. You may get the same caseworker if you call again, but you get a unique reference number, so that whoever picks up the phone can pick up, where you left off, and that's that's amazing. So anybody that is in that situation, 116 123 every time, and what I say to people is, once you've got yourself level again and you're starting to think straight, drop me a line, drop me an email, even pick up the phone. My phone number is on the website, on blogs. You can easily find me on the internet. And I say 3 things will happen when you phone me. I'll either be in a session with a client, in which case, leave a message, and I'll get back to you. And that has happened where somebody said, I'm on a railway line. If you get this message, call me back. And I did do. So leave a message, email me, get it off your chest, because there's a lot to be said for externalizing it. And I'll come back to that in a minute. Or I'll pick up the phone, or I'll be asleep. But, if at 2 a.m. my phone goes off, there are occasions when I do answer it. Now, I don't profess to be in the 4th emergency service. I really don't. If you need to call me at 2 a.m, then really the reality is you need to be talking to the Samaritans. But I don't mind a text. I don't mind an email. And I actually encourage people to do that. If you're in that moment and you don't know who to talk to, then bash out an email and send it me. Let me know how you're feeling. Because then I can pick that up when I, come out of a session or when I wake up in the morning, crucially. And I know how you are feeling at that point. So when I pick up the phone and go, hello, it's Duncan, I can instantly relate and go back to how that person was at 2 a.m. when they had these kind of terrible notions. And it is at night when people can't sleep. I get that a lot. I can't sleep. I'm wide awake. I'm having these nasty thoughts. And I say to my clients, externalize it, get it out. If anybody's really annoyed you at work, if anybody's really cheesed you off, don't retaliate. Don't say anything that you might look back on and regret. Go to your computer, type an email out, because at that moment in time, it's really, really pure in what you're going to write. But crucially, don't send it. Don't send it to that person that you're in conflict with. Let the dust settle, and then come back to it an hour later and see if you still feel the way that you felt an hour ago. And if you did, sit on it. And if you didn't, chances are you start to come to terms with it yourself, and you're in a better position to deal with that. Often, in conflict, people get themselves in a position where they say things that they regret. I know I've done that. I've said things to people, and that was part of my coming to terms with things when I went to counselling, was what I'd said to people. And I can't take that back. And these are friendships that I was too embarrassed to pick up the phone and go, do you know what, all those years ago I really I was stupid to say that, or yeah, you really cheesed me off at that moment in time, but I do value you as a person. And it's really easy to get caught up in the moment and caught up in your anger, and that can cloud your judgment. And that's when we say things that we don't want, and that's when we say things that we regret. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to show you a video,
go
and
for it.
I'm sorry about the phone. Our phone rings up all the time here.
I I just want to let you know you're being recorded, okay? What's wrong? Why? Excuse me, you better not.
Back up, that's all I'm asking.
All right, I'm gonna stay right here. Why?
Somebody lied to me.
Who?
They take my daughters away from me.
We can,
Help her. Yeah,
but
different nigga now.
can you talk to me about it instead of doing that? That's your daughters need you.
I know they do.
So if you do that, who are they gonna be with?
I go head first. I ain't gotta worry about nothing.
Yeah, but you have your daughters to live for. You gotta remember that.
My daughters to worry about.
You do. And if you do that, your daughters are not gonna have you. I just want you to think about it.
I ain't do nothing wrong.
Well, maybe you just need to take a walk or breathe.
I ain't never gonna see my daughters again.
And how can I get you back over here? Huh?
I hear somebody down underneath. Please tell them to back down, man.
All right, guys, back up.
Drop.
And
Drop. They not.
Don't move.
Now, why I showed you that video is because I think it was disgusting how this guy, how he was treated. And they all rushed to him. The police, as you saw, and I don't think that was the way to go. What do you think?
Struck yourself in here. Okay, so
Oh, sorry. Okay.
no, struck yourself in. We've got a lot to talk about here. So much to discuss. First and foremost, I want to be clear. My heart sank a little bit when you played me back, because before it was playing, all I saw was Newark police officers respond to somebody jumping off a bridge. So I'm thinking, wow, is this somebody in my local area of Newark-on-Trent? No, it's somebody in America.
Yeah.
It's a situation I'm familiar with, I have to say, Steve, and people, it's difficult. People say to me, when they are in that moment, they need that forceful response. It looks horrific. It really does. I've chatted to somebody who said, do you know what? I was hanging off a bridge and the ambulance came. And usually with mental health, it's the ambulance teams that will respond to it. In the UK, we have mental health response vehicles in the police, and that has a police a response officer, but it also has a mental health nurse. Importantly, I, like you, I imagine, had an issue with how the police dealt with suicide cases, call them suicide cases. But the police see it as it's a safety thing, and the most important place for that person at that moment in time is the back of an ambulance.
Yeah.
Now, actually, ambulances are, in my opinion, for people who are bleeding, are suffering from broken bones. I don't think an ambulance is the right place for somebody with an attitude. And I'm not talking about they have an attitude. The attitude that person is in at the moment, people will say they're not thinking straight or whatever. And having spoken to people who have been in that situation, they've said to me, actually, the relief of having 4 police officers on top of me was the thing that made them go, wow, I need to change my perspective here. Had a paramedic come along and said, now, come down, son, you've got a lot to, again, what that police officer was saying, you've got a lot to live for. That's very subjective, because that assumes that person's got a lot to live for. You don't know that person's circumstances at that moment in time, and actually it's a phrase that could antagonize the situation. So whilst I wholly agree with you, it looks terrible, and it's frightening to watch. People who have actually been in that situation have said to me it was the biggest eye-opener, the biggest relief for them, that made them go, okay, I need to reassess and reevaluate how I view things. The way I say to people, if you're going to do it, you've obviously made a choice for whatever reason, and it's not for me to judge or question your belief system or why you're in that position. But just remember that the media are going to make you out to be a nut job.
Yeah.
And I really hate using that phrase, but that's how the media portray. Can you imagine if your family are reading a newspaper about why you went off the edge of a cliff or over a motorway? The perception is that you are in the wrong, and you don't have that right to reply, because it's finite. It's happened. And that and it is awful. And I don't wish to shame anybody at that point, but how awful that people who don't know you make a judgment on why you have done what you did. Nobody knows the circumstances. They may have a little idea through CCTV or what's happened, but actually nobody can get inside your head and go, all right, let's talk about this once the situation's happened. To go to hospital here in the UK, probably 2 things will happen. You'll either go to a custody suite that has a safe space, a softer space where you're not going to hurt yourself, and you will be on observation, and then you'll be probably released 12 hours later, maybe 24 hours, dependent on the the circumstances.
What they did to me was, when I was wanting to jump on Tamar Bridge, they put me into a cell, and they left the door open because I wasn't a criminal. I was just and they called the doctor, and the doctor came and saw me and said that I'm being attained under the Mental Health Act.
Yeah.
And then next minute, they said to me that I shall be not going home, but be going to to a hospital,
Yeah.
to a psychiatric unit. And I admit, so around about half an hour later, I was taken by a police car to the psychiatric unit, and I saw another doctor, and they wanted to know what happened and whatnot. So I went through all that. And then in the end, they said to me, about medication and whatnot. Then I shared a dorm, which was totally wrong to put me into a dorm with other people who were having problems.
Wow.
It was really bad. It was a bad experience. And someone came up to me and and kind of like tried strangling me and everything. So but that's for another day. I'm going to tell you about that another day. But in the meantime, I think why I showed you that video is that, yes, okay, they're trying to save a life, and and I totally agree about saving lives. I'm all for mental health. I'm all for it. But the trouble is, when somebody is on the edge of a cliff or end of a bridge or wherever where they are, you know, they've got to be careful because if someone comes
Absolutely.
if someone comes and approaches them, they're going to jump.
Yeah.
And they will jump. They will jump. What I want to do, I've got to go now. But what I want to do is, it's so short this. But on the next thing, I want to finish this off
Absolutely.
on our next because this is interesting and quite a lot of people are kind of like getting into this. So I'll rather leave the conversation till next time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But in the meantime, it's like we. In the meantime, don't forget, guys. We have got all the phone numbers that you want if you've got a lot of problems. Also, our telephone number is 077 0795 227 3866. That's 24 hours. If I don't know anything, we do pass you on to other people. And so it's 24 hours. Don't be afraid. You know. It will probably only be me. And if I don't know anything, guys, we will pass you on to more professionals and everything you need. So there is help out there, and we're help out there. Also, don't forget during the week on next Wednesday, our men's support group starts. So please get involved. More people get involved in that, the better, because it's really interesting. All about men. In the meantime, Duncan, thank you very much
No, my pleasure.
for your time, and I'm sorry it's
Always.
short and sweet, but it's but yeah, just thank you for all your help.
No worries. If anybody's got any questions, by the way, sling them over to Steve, and we can do a Q&A one week of
Yeah, we will
mental
do.
health
Yeah,
questions.
and that's what I want to do. So that's why I left it now. And next week, I'm going to be advertising this, and I want people to come back and answer questions, and and we can give them the answers, and it'd be really good.
Look forward to it.
And I think next week, I think I'll put it in for an hour if that's all right with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Take care.
Thank you, Duncan. Thank
My
you.
pleasure, as always.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Steve. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Duncan, and I got to go now, guys. See you later on. Bye bye.